Bryce had a huge day yesterday. Home run, 3 doubles, as I said, 4 extra base hits for the first time in his career. I know that's hard to do, but I kind of can't believe that's the first time that's happened for Bryce. Luzardo bounced back on the mound, so that was nice to see as well. But the question I have for you to start, Hugh, and, obviously, as the Bryce Harper expert, I'd like you to start here. That. How much better do you feel about the team after yesterday because of what Bryce did?
I feel great because, for me personally, I tried to tell y'all this, and this is not I told you so, Hugh, but it felt to me the whole time when Nebraska was coming out and he said something to the effect that, Bryce is fine. He has to work his way through this. Bryce said in his press conference early on, hey, I guess this is as good as it's going to get. He had to work his way through this. And yesterday, it looks like he found his sweet spot. So, yes, I'm excited. I am excited. And you know what else is funny? We talk about the trade deadline and what we could potentially get. Having Bryce do what he did yesterday, hit a milestone for himself. Yeah, I'm encouraged behind that. We're bipolar as baseball fans.
Now, as far as the overall team here, because obviously we were really down. I was certainly really down on them after Tuesday and Wednesday, Tuesday and Wednesday. Does it make you feel better about the team as a whole?
It makes me feel better going into the weekend because, for me personally, I saw the first night them trying to move runners over. I saw them trying to play small ball. And if you get the small ball going, and you get Bryce doing what he's able to do and Kyle Schwarber doing what he's able to do, you can't ask for much more. Now, that's not me saying that everything is fine and we're fixed. Still might want to add some pieces at the trade deadline. But, no, it's encouraging because that's what it feels like they got the memo a little bit yesterday.
Yeah, and the offense got going. Bryce got going. If you want to get in, 215-592-9494. Did Bryce Harper's performance yesterday make you feel better about the lineup and the team as a whole? And let me be clear here. I feel good about Bryce Harper. That was a huge step in the right direction for him yesterday. But if I'm being honest, it did very little to make me feel better about the team.
Don't be afraid to love, TK.
The bottom line is, Hugh.
Don't be afraid to love, dog.
Bryce doesn't play left. Bryce doesn't play center. Bryce doesn't play second. Bryce doesn't catch. Bryce doesn't pitch in the bullpen.
Everybody has warts, TK, but it's about how you can hide your warts. Okay, perfect example, because we like to talk about, the Eagles a lot. So, Eagles championship team, they had a lot of warts during the course of the season, and there was a lot of concern about the quarterback play. That was probably the only concern that you had, was what the quarterback was going to do. Came up big in big moments. A lot of baseball left to be played. I know most baseball fans don't want to hear that. I always got to say that. But there was a concerted effort this week to try to move runners over, and now the power's back. So, yeah, I feel real good about it.
I hear you. And if you want to get in, 215-592-9494. And, again, I feel much better about Bryce Harper, but it doesn't really change the way I view the team because, honestly, I was never all that worried about Bryce. I always thought at some point Bryce would get back to being himself. Early in the season, he struggled before either he had the injury, probably more before we knew he was dealing with the injury. I was confident he was going to get it together. Even after coming off the IL, struggled the last couple weeks, I was confident that Bryce would produce when you need him to produce. And I still am here. But again, we have seen Bryce Harper produce the last couple years. We've seen Bryce Harper in the playoffs come up big, and it wasn't enough. It hasn't been enough to overcome these flaws. And that's why, Hugh, I would love to just look at this game yesterday and say 13-0 win. Bryce is back to potentially being MVP Bryce. This team's headed in the right direction. But I look at all the other issues. I look at the holes in the outfield. I look at the holes in the bullpen. I look at some of the other areas in the lineup where guys aren't coming through. And while I'm confident about Bryce Harper, it didn't make me overall more confident in the team.
I think the team goes as he goes. And like I said, I feel like going into this week, the effort was to try to manufacture runs the best way you can and do what you can to win these games. Unfortunately for us, when you talk about that meltdown in the ninth inning the other night, that kind of killed it for us. But I think there's some cause for some optimism. Because when we get in the playoffs, you're not going to win too many games 13-0. That's not going to happen, man. It's going to be a little bit closer than that. And if this team understands that and starts to work towards that, I think that's a reason to be optimistic. I really do.
215-592-9494. Did Bryce Harper's performance, specifically yesterday, make you feel better about the team as a whole? For you, it did. For me, it really didn't, because Bryce was never really the issue for me. Bryce was never really the worry for me. But it was obviously really nice to see him get going, see him have the kind of game that he had yesterday. Here was Rob Thompson after the game talking about Bryce Harper and the day that he had.
It looked like in the last couple of days that he's staying balanced. He's letting the ball travel. Bat speed's there. That was a big day for him. A big day for us, really. I really liked his at-bats. And I really liked the at-bats up and down the lineup, too. I thought we were really good.
Bat speed was there, he said. Yeah. Guess who didn't have bat speed
Who
yesterday?
didn't?
Joe DeCamera.
Oh, Joe DeCamera. We'll get to that. I mean, that was a rough one. As a DeCamera backer,
Shout out to Jack Fritz.
Weak performance.
His bounce back game was strong yesterday.
Weak performance from Joe yesterday, unfortunately. But here was more. Here was Bryce talking about his swing and what it felt like yesterday.
My swing feels fine. It's nothing physical or anything like that, or anything swing wise. It's just getting ahead in the count and hitting in good situations. And I haven't really put myself in great situations the last 9 or 10 games. So if I can keep doing that and hit balls that are over the plate and not miss them, I'll be right in the driver's seat, ready to go.
And there's no question about it. The Phillies need Bryce Harper to be what he was yesterday.
Yeah.
If you want any chance, you need him to be that. But I still look around, even if you get that version of Bryce Harper, even if you get the guy that's going to hit homers, that's going to come through in big moments, I look at the rest of the team, and there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. You still, in my mind, have half a lineup. I mean, you're missing 2 outfielders. You're missing an offensive threat from the catching position. You're missing an offensive threat from second base. Your third baseman is up and down, both from a play on the field perspective and an emotional perspective. So I look at this lineup, and while I feel better about Bryce, I can't say it made me feel better about their prospects as a team as a whole.
I feel like this team goes as Bryce goes. And especially this week, I felt like they were trying to do as much as they can until Bryce got to where he needed to be. And that's what it kind of felt like yesterday. Now, here's the thing. It's like a golf swing. One day you have it, and the next day you don't. You try to do everything that you possibly can to keep that swing going, to keep that momentum going. And I think that's what they need to try to do. You've going out there and hitting some of the milestones that you hit. You talk about Schwarber knocking one into McCovey Cove. That was only the 3rd time it's been done by a Philly. You talk about the day that Bryce Harper had four
extra base hits.
Extra base hits. I just wanted to say back to back, but yeah, 4 extra base hits. That's something that's never been done. There's reason right there to believe that this team is potentially going to turn the corner. Now, that's not to say that they're going to run the table. Let's be realistic. But I think that, building that confidence out there the way that they did, there's a good chance that they can go on a nice little run. And if I'm not mistaken, aren't the Mets still metting? They're starting to met now a little bit.
The
they
Mets
were off
met.
last night.
Okay. They were off.
Okay.
Last night.
Oh yeah. Okay. But they're potentially metting.
Well, they've been metting themselves lately, for sure. But hopefully we won't.
That
need
rain
to
was
rely
bad.
on
Listen,
that.
everybody had power last night. Everybody was good.
I kept my power last night. There was a storm for a little bit, but overall was all right. But want to know how you feel about the Phillies. How do you feel after that Bryce Harper performance yesterday? Obviously, it was important. Obviously, the Phillies need Bryce Harper to be that guy. But did it make you feel better about the overall prospects of the team? It didn't for me. 215-592-9494. Kyle, where do you fall on this? Bryce, obviously, we all feel a lot better about him, but did it make you feel better about the team?
I'm all the way back in.
I mean, I was never
game.
No. It's not about
just one game.
My
biggest concern
with the team.
Oh no!
When it came to how far they were going to be able to go in this postseason,
was how Bryce Harper
looked, and not I never thought that version of Bryce
that we saw in those few games back after the IL stint. I thought it was going to get better than that. I didn't ever expect or talk myself into us seeing that version that we saw Bryce Harper last night again this season. That type of power going the opposite way. I thought maybe we were going to get, like Hugh was calling him slap hitter Bryce, maybe a guy that was going to be able to hit for average. I thought the contact was going to be there. He wasn't just going to be a strikeout guy and just a total black hole at the 3 spot. But I didn't expect to see that was, and now I know it was just one performance, but that version of Bryce Harper is the MVP version of Bryce Harper, and that's the biggest addition to this team, because we hadn't seen that all season long. that's bigger than any trade deadline addition that they're going to be able to make in a few weeks. Like, they're going to get some bullpen guys. Yeah, that's great. But like that, what I saw yesterday was so freaking massive in terms of what this offense is going to be capable of, like going down the line. The small ball stuff, yeah, it was cute. It was great. I like the fact that they're trying to manufacture runs in that kind of way. But man, that boost of power that you got from Bryce Harper yesterday, the fact that I know now that that's there, that that's in there, and we may be able to see it for long stretches this season, like that was the most encouraging thing that I've seen from this Phillies team all season long. So like I'm with you, man. Don't be afraid to love, TK. Dive all the way back in.
I'm not falling back in love after one game. I mean, come on. It was a great performance from Bryce. That is one of the things that the Phillies need. But that's just one of the things they need. I mean, they still need 2 outfielders. They still need half a lineup. I mean, they've had MVP Bryce the last 3 years in the playoffs, and it hasn't been enough.
You have to figure out a way to hide your warts as much as you possibly can. But if this pitching is doing what it's doing and this offense gives you half of that, they're in a good spot.
Now, you say hide the warts. I want to remove the warts.
Well,
sometimes I want to go, get the laser done, remove them.
Sometimes you're
remove those warts.
In a situation
laser
where
them off.
That's not possible. Well, and you have to go, like we talked about this yesterday.
We can't take a laser to Max Kepler and just get rid of him?
We talked about this yesterday and the position that Dombrowski's have us in as a team. And a lot of people called in yesterday talking about, well, you know, they're mad at him because they didn't give Topper the pieces, or they're mad at Topper because he's mismanaged the pieces. I beg to differ. I think with what Topper has been given, the fact that you ran this lineup back the way that you did, they're competing. They're competing. They need to figure out how to push it over the top, because they obviously the organization feels like you have enough to
you get thrown off so
I don't even know. I don't even know what happened.
No,
you pop a gummy in the middle of the sentence there.
You didn't hear me mess up organization. I messed it up, and I thought it was funny. Yeah,
Kyle's so deep in your head.
No, I'm so self-conscious about some of the stuff that I say and the way I say things that when I messed it up, I automatically laugh because I blew it up.
Nobody even noticed.
No, I noticed. But yeah. And they feel like this team is good enough. They just have to figure it out, man. They have to figure it out.
Yeah, want to know how much better it made you feel, Bryce Harper having that game yesterday? Not about Bryce. We all feel good about Bryce today. But how did it make you feel about the team as a whole? Hugh, Kyle, they're back in love. They're back in love.
Ain't afraid of love.
The engagement is back on. Send out those save the dates. For me, I'm not there yet. I need a little more counseling. I need a little more.
I just got invited to a wedding
when it comes to this team. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Nice.
I ain't going.
Oh, okay.
Ain't got no date.
Oh. Well, you can go by yourself. It's a great place to pick up chicks, you.
How lame is that?
Come on, man.
I'm going to a wedding where everybody else is going to probably have a date now.
Be one of the, like a wedding crasher. Go in there and
I might go
search
crash.
out for your prospects.
Yeah, I might go crash.
You got it. 215-592-9494. I'm not feeling better about the team as a whole. I think they need a whole lot. Bryce being back helps, but it is not a cure-all for this team.